Hi everyone, happy holidays and welcome back to my channel. This is our year to shine, and today I'm going to read our final extreme self-care challenge from Cheryl Richardson's book. There's 12 challenges in this, and this is our 12th, end of 2021. I have to admit, I haven't even looked at what it is. All right, number 12. I actually talked about this one last year, but this will be more in depth. Your extreme self-care challenge is the self-care first aid kit. And remember, there are certain questions that go along with this one. So she talks about how we have been doing this journey of extreme self-care all year, right? Mostly really focusing on boundaries, self-love, speaking our truth, bringing out our true authenticity, and carving out time for ourselves. Of course, that's a big part of self-care. So if you are thinking about putting together a first aid kit for something, obviously you want to be prepared, right? And you want to, like, say it's a real first aid kit, you want to have the alcohol and the Band-Aids and maybe like wrapping tape and things like that. So you want to be ready for different scenarios. So I remember this one because she has you consider some questions as you're putting this together. So like if you think of a self-care first aid kit as a sort of a something that's alive, I suppose, like where instead of Band-Aids it might be like a certain person that you talk to, then these are some questions to think of. Who can I turn to for support when I'm afraid? Who comforts me, who makes me feel safe, and who allows me to have my feelings? That's really important, right? Number 2, who do I need to avoid? Who adds to my anxiety level, overwhelms me with questions, or has a tough time just listening without interrupting or offering advice? 3, what does my body need to feel nurtured, strong, and healthy? That's something that I write in my journal every year, just independent of this exercise. What responsibilities or commitments do I need to let go of to clear some space so that I'll be able to feel my feelings and do what's necessary to honor my needs? Yeah, because if you're overscheduling yourself, just don't have any time to even like think for yourself, then you're not going to be making self-care a priority, right? Number 5, what unhelpful coping strategies or activities do I need to avoid? Maybe it might be like turning to an addiction or overeating or, I don't know, something unhealthy, right? Number 6, what spiritual practice restores my faith or connects me with God or a higher power of my own understanding? Number 7, what do I need to feel comforted at this time? So besides the person that might offer the comfort, what else might you need? How will I best express my feelings? That was number 8. Number 9, what object can I use as a talisman that will remind me to breathe, relax my thinking mind, and return awareness to the present moment? Number 10, what can I do when I need to take a break from the emotional stress? What's my best healthy distraction? Yeah. Those are all really good things to think about. She says the answers to these questions will help you formulate a plan of action so that when you're faced with big life challenges, you'll have what you need. So when she's looking at the different things, she's talking about, maybe deciding who that friend is that's going to be the one that you can call over somebody else, and who you're going to avoid, and who you need to set boundaries with. I want to read about what she says the extreme self-care first aid kit. I can't even speak today. The extreme self-care first aid kit consists of 10 ways to take good care of yourself when you need the most support. To create your kit, ask yourself those questions that I just went through. And she explores about the fact, remember last year, and I know that I remember now when I talked about this. When we were going through Sarah Bon Bronick's book, Simple Abundance, I talked about one of the tools from her older version of the book, which is a comfort drawer. And a comfort drawer is meant to be a collection of things, maybe like a special blanket or teas, emergency chocolate, maybe notes from friends, pictures, things that are going to really help to console you if you're having a rough time. So I talked about this in relation to that because this is really helping you hone in on who you can bring in on this project. So, and maybe letting that first person know too, like, hey, if I'm really having a tough time, I might reach out to you. Or maybe that person is a professional, like a therapist as well. I understand what she's saying in number 2, because there could be a family member that's just really judgmental or thinks you're too emotional or just doesn't know the right thing to say or says the wrong thing that makes things worse. So that's important to know, just to avoid those people. And then it's really important to know what your body needs. Most often you might just need more sleep, probably need more time off, less work, less stress. Maybe you need to go out and take a walk. Maybe you need to have some more healthy foods, or even do like a fast to sort of clear your body out. It's really important to listen to your body. And the commitments, yeah. How many of us are overcommitted and overscheduled? So maybe it's a matter of taking yourself out of some groups, or saying no to things that you'd like to do, but maybe not as much as you would like to just be home with your cats or something. I was at the store today and I saw this sign that said something like, "I'm sorry, I'm busy, I have plans with my cat." And I thought, I never say that, but sometimes I'm not available and I just say, "I'm sorry, I have plans." But sometimes it is to just be home and have my quiet time and do my journaling and stuff, because I definitely need that. So there's nothing wrong with turning down an invitation. Unhealthy coping strategies. Yeah. You might want to just sit down and journal about what those even are, if you're even aware that you're doing them. Of course, the spiritual practice, we talked a lot about that last year with our Simple Abundance year and how important it is. And earlier in the year when we read Brene Brown's book, we talked a lot about being connected to a higher power. The number 7, what do I need to feel comforted, is a lot like the things that would be in the comfort drawer. How will you express your feelings? Some people, even in adulthood, are still learning how to express their feelings. I have a kitty that's expressing her feelings. What object could you use as that talisman? Maybe it's like a stone that you rub, or remember I shared with you my little Malamute stuffed animal, or maybe it's an actual live animal that you're petting that really helps. Because I was hearing something recently about how just 15 minutes of petting your animal brings your heart rate and blood pressure down and everything. So it's good to do that every day. And what can I do when I need to take a break from the emotional stress? Or my best healthy distraction? Maybe it is doing a hobby, knitting, coloring, cooking, singing, dancing, going for a drive, whatever you need to do. Maybe it's talking. Some people just like to talk things out. But knowing when to get away, especially if you live with someone else and you just really need some space to sort of like process things and you don't want them to be a part of that, then figuring out, some people might want to go shopping. I suppose that could be an unhealthy thing if it became like a compulsion or something. But these are really important things to discuss. And I wonder how many of you have thought of those things, or if you have something like an extreme self-care first aid kit. It's a mouthful. So the rest of it is examples of things. So I will read the final definition of what this challenge is. Extreme self-care challenge. Create your own kit. Now it's time for you to create your own extreme self-care first aid kit. Using the questions that we read, formulate a list of 10 things that you can do to take extremely good care of yourself when going through a tough time. Then think about where you'd keep this list so that you can easily find it when you need it. You might even take there was an advice in the chapter here, and give a copy to your top support person. That way you'll have someone else who can step in and help implement the plan. Yeah, maybe you wouldn't do what you needed to do for yourself. And if you said, hey, Jessica, every time, if I call and I'm having a rough time, like, let's go and walk in the park, or let's go to a movie, or just get together for a girls' gab night or something. Also, keep this list in a file on your computer and schedule an alert in your calendar at least every 6 months to remind you to review it and update the list. That's true. And finally, trust me when I say that extreme self-care is the perfect prescription for handling any life challenge. Yes, so she took it back to the medical thing. Let me see if there's anything at the end of the book. She just has an acknowledgments section. She's acknowledging the people in her life that helped her editor and all that. Yes, she's talking to me. Hey, she acknowledges her cat, Poupon. He's opened his heart. And her husband. And then there's just a little bit about the author. So what did you think about this book? We did one challenge each month. Did you feel like you gave it a shot? Did you feel like some were easier than others? I definitely think some are easier than others. And some I was more familiar with than others because I had done an activity with them before or talked about them last year. So I enjoy owning this book because it is something that I can revisit. You can also download it and have a digital copy on a device too, that you can flip through and revisit what the challenges were. And then you also have my videos from this year as well. I hope you've gotten something out of it, and let me know. I'd love to hear from you guys. Hope you're having a nice holiday season, and I will be back on the channel. I think we have one more video for the Cheryl Richardson and Louise Hay book, You Can Create an Exceptional Life. One more video, and then I have another book on order that I hope will come next week, and then I may bring it to the channel next, so we'll see. All right, love to you all. See you on the next video. Bye-bye.